Friends, I need you to imagine this. You're living your best life, you've worked hard, you've made money, you're feeling proud. And then, one random afternoon, you walk into a place you've never been before, and the last person you ever expected to see is standing right in front of you, serving tables, looking you dead in the eyes. Hey family, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here with me today, because this is one of those stories you just can't make up. It's got love, heartbreak, second chances, and a twist at the end that, well, you'll just have to see for yourself. So grab your tea, sit somewhere comfy, and please watch this one till the end, because every part matters. And if you've ever wondered whether life has a way of bringing people back together, this might just be your answer. David wasn't just any man, he was the man people wrote about in business magazines. He had worked his way up from absolutely nothing, no rich parents, no special connections, just pure grit. By 38, he was a self-made millionaire, big house, fast cars, expensive watch, everything you'd expect that day. He was meeting a client at a small, upscale restaurant downtown. You know, the kind, white tablecloths, soft jazz music playing, waiters in crisp black uniforms. David had never been there before, but his client swore they had the best steak in the city. He walked in, greeted the host, and was led toward the back of the restaurant. And then he froze, standing just a few feet away, balancing a tray of drinks. Was her Alicia not just any woman? His ex-wife. She was black, beautiful, glowing, and pregnant. Not just a little pregnant, at least 7 months along. Her round belly, it was impossible to miss under her neat service apron. For a moment, David thought maybe his mind was playing tricks on him. It had been 6 years since they'd last spoken. 6 years since a divorce. 6 years since that last fight where they'd both said things they could never take back. But there she was. And she had seen him too. Let me tell you something about David and Alicia. They were the kind of couple people rooted for. He was the ambitious dreamer. She was the grounded realist. They met in college, dated through the struggles, and married when they still had barely enough money to cover rent. Back then, they didn't care about wealth, they cared about each other. But as David's career took off, things started to change. He worked longer hours, traveled constantly, and started believing that money could fix anything. Alicia wanted time, love, connection. But David thought buying her nice things was enough. When they finally split, it wasn't because they stopped loving each other, it was because they didn't know how to bridge the gap that had formed between them. Now, here she was, pregnant, working as a waitress. David's chest tightened. Questions flooded his mind. Whose baby was it? Was she okay? How had her life turned out like this? Before he could even think of what to say, the hostess seated him at a table, and Alicia walked over. She didn't smile, didn't frown either. Her face was calm, professional. Good afternoon. Can I get you something to drink? Her voice was exactly the same as he remembered. David cleared his throat. Alicia, it's been a long time. She just nodded. Yes, it has. For a moment there was silence. The clinking of glasses, the soft jazz, the low hum of conversation from other tables. It all felt too normal for how surreal this moment was. I didn't know you worked here, David said, trying to sound casual. Yeah, she replied softly. It's a good job. Flexible hours. Her hand brushed against her belly instinctively. David wanted to ask, is the baby's father in the picture? Are you okay? Do you need help? But he held back. Something told him this wasn't the time to be the savior. While she went to get his drink, David's mind drifted back. People had always told him, when a woman says she's fine, she's not fine. And now he understood. Back then, Alicia had told him she was fine with his long hours. She was fine when he missed their anniversary dinner. She was fine when he bought her a diamond necklace instead of being there for her when her father passed. But she hadn't been fine. She'd been lonely, and he had been too blind to see it. When Alicia came back with his drink, she hesitated for a moment before setting it down. David, I wasn't sure you'd recognize me. How could I not? He said. You look happy, really happy. She smiled faintly. I am then. She leaned in slightly, lowering her voice. The baby, he's yours. David's heart stopped. Mine. She nodded. I found out after the divorce paperwork was already filed. I didn't want to stop you from living your life, so I kept it to myself. David felt like the ground had shifted beneath him. All those years, he had a child and didn't even know it. Alicia continued. I'm not telling you this to get anything from you. I'm telling you because you deserve to know, and because I want our child to know who you are, not the man in the magazines, but the man I fell in love with. David's throat tightened. For the first time in years, the expensive suit, the wealth, the status, it all felt meaningless. That afternoon, David didn't talk about business. He didn't check his phone. He didn't rush to another meeting. Instead, he stayed. They talked. Really talked. About the past, the mistakes, the things they could have done differently. And as the sun set outside, David made a promise, not as a millionaire, not as a businessman, but as a man who'd been given a second chance. Now, I don't know what you believe about fate, but I believe some moments are meant to happen exactly when they're supposed to. David didn't walk into that restaurant by accident. He walked in because it was time. Time to face the past. time to step into the role he was always meant to have, not just as a provider, but as a father. Sometimes, life brings people back into your world not because you need them, but because they need you. And sometimes you realize you've needed them all along. If you watched all the way here, I want to thank you, friend. Stories like this remind me that money fades, careers change, but love, the real kind, can survive even years of distance. And who knows, maybe there's someone out there you're meant to find again. If you felt this story, hit that like button, share it with someone you love, and subscribe so we can keep sharing these moments together.